I am Professor Kitlokhetswi in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, University of Botswana. And my main area of research is on energy. Why is it on energy? Is that energy is one of the components which pollutes the globe globally. We convert use the cooking oil into diesel fuel, and then we use that to run our cars. We have an experimental car which we use it to run the biofuel, and then we test its performance, we test the level of emissions, and our preliminary results is actually found that the use of biofuel is producing less pollutants. In that way, we hope that the government of Botswana, if we are to use clean fuels like biodiesel, we will be able to cut the level of pollutions significantly. I should share with the learners that the government is committed to cut the emissions by 15% by the end of 2030, which is almost 9 years from now. The government has to cut the emissions by 15%, and the use of green energy, which biofuel is one of them, is the answer to the reduction of emissions by the government of Botswana. If it was not perhaps the issue of COVID pandemic, we are willing to open our process to the secondary students to come and see how we are producing the biodiesel from used cooking oil, so that they could actually put their hands on how chemicals and all other things are being mixed up to come up with the biodiesel.
No, good day, everyone. My name is Karabo Mantome. I'm a research student in the University of Botswana under the biodiesel project, which is supervised by Professor Kitlokhetswi. I'm going to take this time to explain to you our processing procedure, and these here I will explain at the end. This here is the biodiesel processor that we use to produce biodiesel, the BioPro 360 380EX, and this is the feedstock that we use. This is the feedstock that we use to produce the biodiesel. This is quick used cooking oil. We sourced our cooking oil from a company named Orera Pty Limited. Upon arrival, we heat the cooking oil to 55 to 60 degrees Celsius. And after we reach that temperature, we pump the oil into the biodiesel processor. After we pump the oil into the biodiesel processor, we pour in 50 milliliters of sulfuric acid and 75 liters of methanol to start the process of translocation, which is the separation of a long fatty acid chain. After the separation of the used cooking oil, two byproducts are produced: the biodiesel and the glycerol. The glycerol will settle at the bottom because of its high density, and the biodiesel will settle at the top. After that, we draw out the glycerol using this valve over here into 25-liter drums. Then it's time to heat the oil to 60 degrees, the biodiesel to 60 degrees Celsius to remove the methanol. After removing the methanol, we wash the biodiesel using water at 60 degrees Celsius. And Once we're done washing the biodiesel, we pump the biodiesel into the 1,000 liter drum that we have here. And then it's ready for use. The glycerol is taken to our other lab and further processed into value-added products. This here is the used cooking oil we use to produce the biodiesel. After the process I mentioned, the transfication process and the washing, this is the biodiesel finished product. And here's the other byproduct, which is the glycerol, crude glycerol, which is further processed, and here's the byproduct.
My name is Rebao Nokolobeng. I'm a student in University of Botswana studying Master of Philosophy in Engineering under a biodiesel project supervised by Professor Kitloich. As you have already heard, my colleague has already talked about the byproduct of producing biodiesel, which is glycerol. So here in this separator, it's a crude glycerol. So after the production of biodiesel, we take the crude glycerol and process it to purify it into a pure glycerol. So we use activated charcoal. We just soak the crude glycerol into the activated charcoal and let it settle. Let it to settle at the bottom. So what the activated charcoal does is it absorbs all the dirt in glycerol, in the crude glycerol, so that it becomes like clear like this one here. So after this, our pure glycerol, there are products, different products that we produce using glycerol, the pure glycerol. One of them is the sanitizer, the hand sanitizer. We can also produce the candles. We can also produce the bar soaps, the liquid soaps, even the lotions from glycerol. So this is our testing lab. We have here the equipment that we use to test for the properties of our product, our main product being biodiesel. For you to be able to operate this equipment, you should be able to. For you to operate this equipment, you should have the basics of science and mathematics, because this biodiesel is a lot of chemistry. So here we have the bomb calorimeter, which we use to test the heating value of our diesel. Here we have the viscometer, which we use to test for viscosity of our biodiesel. Then here is our titrator, which we use to monitor the water content of biodiesel. And this machine here is used to test for the flash point of biodiesel. So after testing for these properties, we then compare them to the set international standards to see if it complies with them.